Capitol Theatre opened on May 11th, 1929. It was the city's first sound-equipped cinema. Late share owner Jack Byers could recall when Saskatoon got its first blast of movie sound.
I can remember being absolutely thrilled. Well, for instance, one of the shorts was a fire engine racing down the street with its sirens going, and just to hear the sound, it was just fantastic.
Over the decades, the Cap got first dibs on all the classics. Wizard of Oz, Gone with the Wind, not to mention. Current City Councillor Darren Hill saw Jaws at the Capitol in 1975. He was 7 years old.
It was my Auntie Margot, and she took me to the Capitol in 1975. I was 7 years old, and she took me to see Jaws. And then I had to go to the washroom because, little kids and soda, and I was terrified. I was sure that shark was going to come out of the plumbing and get me.
The Cap was more than just a movie theater, though. It hosted everything. Concerts from the Quaker Oats Orchestra, onstage cooking shows for Depression-era housewives.
The owner of Intercontinental Packers would rent the Capitol Theatre for a Christmas party, and they'd have Santa Claus on stage, and all the kids from the parents that worked at Intercon would come there to receive a Christmas present. I mean, kind of things that are totally unheard of today.
In 1979, though, the wrecking ball came calling for the Cap. An Edmonton-based company tore it down to make way for the Scotia Centre Mall on 2nd Avenue. But the scattered remnants of the theatre are all over Saskatoon today.
We're actually in one of the City of Saskatoon's warehouses where some of the artifacts that we retrieved from the Capitol Theatre just prior to its demolition are being stored. And here on the floor we see the columns that were featured in the big entranceway that went up to the theatre itself.
This is a banner from the Capitol Theatre. For the most part, it's actually in very good condition. It's original colors. It hasn't faded any. Like the original donor had preserved it very well.
Ken Ox took some lights and chandeliers and put them on display at the Hose and Hydrant restaurant in Saskatoon.
The Capitol Theatre probably brought the awareness to the masses, let's say, and guys like me to say, really it is pretty cool to save these.
It used to be in the Capitol Theatre. It's quite a hefty chair, and it's well worn. It's probably the best seat in the house that we have.
And the grand Capitol marquee sits outside in a city lot, waiting to be restored. Guy Kemville, CBC News, Saskatoon.